Hello, gamers. Welcome back to another episode of the TPP podcast. I'm your host, Carnage, and I'm back with some fantastic topics to talk about from gaming and movies and entertainment industry, and with our weekly game reviews, which I have been posting on my Twitter at TPP Perspective as gaming memoirs. So let's buckle up. Have a nice cup of coffee if you're listening it in the morning. Have some snacks if you're listening in the evening, or having it with having your dinner and listening, or while you are sleeping. Just buckle up. We are on hell of we are ready for a hell of an episode. So as usually we do, we get in with one of my favorite games, Counter Strike. Yes, today we are back again with some news and events from Counter Strike community. So first of all, most important thing that's that is needed to be addressed is the new changes that Valve has made for its Steam region selection for their majors, for Counter Strike majors. So it's a very recent development, and as of what I know, they have now established a system in which the region will be decided on the basis of region's participation if there is a state of uh, indecisiveness because of equal region represented in the team. For example, if there is a team which has two American players and two Asian players, and the fifth one is neither from Americas or Asia. In that scenario, how to decide? No, in previously, it would be in the hands of the org to decide for which region they want to participate. So eventually, orgs would choose Asia over America and America over Europe because of the density in the competitive scenario. As we all know, Europe is the most talented, most dense in number of teams, most skilled region for Counter Strike till date, and there's no debate for it. So, European teams and sometimes Americans, but mostly some orgs who take two players from Europe and two from Asia or America and try to go in the region, go in the lesser difficult region and qualify for the major armas. And eventually, the other tournament organizations had to invite them from the similar region that the team has selected. The most notable and most controversial of the scenarios in the last major, that was the Shanghai major, was that of our most famous our most famous and the streamer of the year of 2023 and 2024, Mr. Onipixel, and his team Drillers was in a controversy of sorts, and there was a bit of outrage among Asian fans and the fans of FlyQuest and Australian fans because with one or two players from who were Asian, he was able to participate with a majority European roster in Asian Arma and was just short of being in the major. I mean, if you know, you know, they were at 5 match rounds. They were at 5 match points. If they would have won a single round, we would have an Onipixel sticker. Drillas would have been in the majors, and and FlyQuest, which were the Asian favorites after Mongols from Australia, would have been disqualified from the majors in Shanghai. So yeah, it was a bit of controversy back then. And since now, from 2025, Valve has decided to already change the platform for major qualifications from, as we have covered in our previous episodes, that they have increased the number of teams able to participate in major to 32, and they have uh, scrubbed off the open qualifier system to point based systems, and basically how you perform in the majors and the tournaments, and the Valve rankings that you come up with whole year. You will be invited direct to the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 tier. If you want to know, go deep into how the tier system Valve has employed for future majors, just go and check back my episodes. I have discussed deeply about what they have proposed. So, in context with that new qualification systems, this is a follow back to it. So, if you have controlled, you have changed the way the to the teams, the organizations were using the loophole that was in the system to get qualified from a lesser skilled region. So the next thing was remaining that how to uh, lay down a system for other tournament organizations. uh, Else the major organizations who will be organizing majors the year have to consider and invite teams. So yeah, this is a new development, and it will be very exciting to watch how some organizations will now function. New players who want to enter into CS uh, scenario, how they will get through. And yeah, moving on, the first tournament of 2025 circuit has begun, and is the Blast Bounty series. And as if you know, you know, this is a very new type of format that they have come up with. There's a bounty system. The better the Valve ranking you have, you have a bigger bounty on your head, and the lower your ranking is, you have lesser bounty on your head, but you get opportunity to call out the mm, mm, call out any team who has more bounty than you, and then you both play a BO3, and yeah, the amount is the money that your bounty is, that's the reward. And as you stack up rewards, and the dynamics of ranking changes to most wins getting higher uh, cash on their head. So it would be a very dynamic situation, which will lead to a dynamic prize decision, and and it might be that in spite of uh, any team winning all matches but just losing the finals, we have to see how and what will decide that what will be the prize amount the runner up will get. And if anybody of you who's listening knows what will the prize distribution system for the runner ups for the blast bounty, please tweet at me or write down in the comments what you know about it, and let's share some information. Moving on, due to this new ranking system and teams being invited, the one major sensational event that happened was the invitation of the best female CS2 team, that is the Imperial FE, Imperial female team. They are also invited, and they are world seeded 26. Being seeded world 26, these brave girls challenged the world's best team, who also have recently won the world's best team award at HLTV Awards, and also are the major winners of the Copenhagen 2024 major, our fan favorite Navi. And and that match happened few days back. It was a fantastic event, very well uh, accepted by the community, breaking the viewership records of any CS2 female team has ever achieved. Also, they performed very well. The female team did very well against Navi. They showed that they pack a punch, and and in future we might be able to see co-ed teams in CS2. And as I have uh, mm, shared my desire for the co-ed CS2 team, I would like to talk about Valorant, in which recently they're also their 2025 circuit have also started with regional VCT games. And Apex. Apex have a co-ed team. The VCT game changers, fantastic player Fluorescent. She has joined Apex, forming the first co-ed tier 1 team Valo, and also any FPS as I know of. So it's a very new type of dynamics, and in future these initiatives will support the female side of esports, as well as integration of male and female esports, because esports is a type of sports which is not limited by physical discrepancies or natural genetic physical uh, bias. So I think I think this is a very good news, and I've been waiting for the day to see co-ed teams being common. Also, retrospectively uh, analyzing the match between Navi male and the Imperial female, which were very close. I think it was 13-7 on the first map, Ancient, which was uh, the ladies pick, and the second and the final map being Mirage, which was the Navi pick. They were pretty close. First map being 13-7 finish, and the second being 13-8, where in the first map initial 3 or 4 rounds were very close. They were 1v1 deciding, and if those 3 4 rounds uh, the ladies would have been able to close, the scoreline would have been 13-9 or 13-10 in favor of the girls. So I think somewhere it was very close. And as Navi GL tweeted that in the first map he was shaking, uh, and they they uh, the girls they shot well. They were very crisp and had very good game sense. And many times they were able to out aim jail and wonderful. Especially, I would like to mention Tori and 23. Those were, I think, the most fraggers out of Imperial FE. And if you haven't watched, go watch some highlights. The mid-air headshot by Tori on Bit, and then peeking with Deagle onto Wonderful, who has just planted and looking at you with his op. That was nasty. That was very nasty. 1v 2 clutch diffuse. That was fantastic. And yeah, Anna, people were very observant of her. She's considered simple of female CS. I think she was also back to back player of the year. She faltered. We were unable to see anything anything very brilliant from her, but yes, she was good. She showed why she is considered the greatest. Some nasty shots she delivered. And also, one thing that I would like to mention is one of their players, Zaz. Go check her HLTV profile. She has been playing since 2007. She is in esports from 2007. She has been playing, I think, from CS 1.6 or Source days. I mean, she is an OG. And yes, that was very astonishing for me, who is new to CS and very new to female side of CS. Yeah, it was a fun match. Navi versus Imperial FE was a very fun match to watch. And as I was talking retrospectively, I think the match was close, but I think Navi would have done better. The few points that I mentioned in my tweets that I would like to share is, first, I think Navi boys in the first map or as in whole, they were a bit uh, uh, overconfident, or they underestimated the girls. Because as you can see, as you see, uh, Ema, Alexei, and Wonderful, they lost very straight 1v1 gunfights. I mean, the on the ancient map in the cave, the Alexei's spray and some of Ema's sprays were very dodgy. It didn't look like something coming from a major winning team and world's best team player. It didn't. Also, in the first map, Bit was not the Bit we knew of. But in the second map, it was all a Bit show. So I think they were a bit complacent facing Imperial FE. But I think they shouldn't be. Face number 2 or number 1 team facing a number 26 team, being overconfident and fumbling is not a good sign. Whether it it's a major or some any other online tournament, I think from a team like Navi, uh, it's childish. And there was another tweet that I made, and I would like to discuss about it also. I saw many streamers who were pre and post talking about the match. I saw many analysts who talked in a way. I saw many players who tweeted pre and post or while doing the match, after map one, supporting and uh, praising the female team. But I think it was a bit gimmicky. And yeah, now I am thinking, and I'm not aligning with everything that I tweeted about uh, people. I call them fake. I might be sorry about that, but it was my anger, it was my mindset at that time. But now I am not 100% on that thought. Yeah, but I am not totally disagreeing from what I said. Those who are on the top tier of CS, whether you're a player or an analyst or a streamer, if your life is CS, if your career is CS, in that world, there is a team who is back to back champions. There is a player who is back to back player of the year. How come you only talk about them or only watch them or only come to know about their tactics and their capabilities when they play a male team? It's a news, it's a sensation. It's not that you always are tracking or playing or streaming or analyzing. I think if I was that deeply invested in any sports, and if I was that clueless about Imperial FE's individual capabilities, their history, their tactics, their play style, their accomplishment, and I would be first watching them when they played against Navi men because I'm a Navi fan and it's an official tournament, and it's something that was forced to me to watch. I feel like that because if Valve didn't change the ranking system and if they were forced to bring, I might be wrong with this, but I think due to the Valve ranking system it was made so that they have to be called in with those all that 32 teams changed by Valve. I think it would be I would feel disgusted a bit in myself that if there is a great female team who have great talent, great tactics, great history with them, and I didn't appreciate them, and I come to know about them, and I'm watching them because they're playing Navi men. Yeah, I might be wrong, but this is what my thought was about, and I tweeted about it. Moving on from our one top 5 team Navi to our second top 5 team G2. After moving Nico from G2 to Falcons and the addition of Heavy God to G2, Falcons played good. They won their first BO3, and and Tessus was very good at Falcons. Kickstand was good. Dexter was alright. Majis was alright. But I think G2 Minus Nico is in more shambles. I didn't watch the match, but of what has been going on in the CS community and watching the HLTV match results, uh, G2 might have fumbled the map, and they might have lost and been eliminated from their debut uh, tournament of 2025 with this new team. I have seen Heavy God being criticized. Also, some people asking for bringing back Hooksy, removing snacks, and some people saying that there are three clowns and two hostages in G2. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but there was two opinions on Twitter that I feel. There was one opinion on Twitter that I feel is of some value, and I might like to add about it. The first is Spinks. I think Spinks could be a very good addition to G2. And so minus Hunter plus Spinks and a change of IGL to someone who is young, a younger IGL with Monacy on op, Mobs and Heavy God and Spinks acting as anchor and the assaulters with Taz as a coach, or if in coming few years they change or Taz wants to leave. But this roster, this young roster of Heavy God, Monacy, Mobs, Spinks, and a young Ideal will have hunger for major, will have talent, will have young blood with them, passion with them, and 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 a and a foreseeable future of being together as a roster with a tier one organization for 4 or 5 years. I can see it easily becoming world's number one team and winning majors and being threat to organizations like FaZe, Navi, Vitality, who are crumbled. I think in the CS scene, uh, no team is as solid as um, Pika Stralis or uh, a Fanatic that or NIP of the old days. I mean, team spirit, they can falter. Dong couldn't let you win, couldn't have you win every time, every matches. If Zontix falters, if Magix falters, Shiro and Dong will have their bad days. And sometimes a map, a single round, could change the momentum of your team, could change the outcome of a tournament. So, looking it at like that, you can say any team uh, of present, you cannot say about them that they are as solid uh, as it could be. Neither phase lost as of recently. I think phase have lost to they have lost to someone that they shouldn't have, and vitality is a bit shaky, and the mouse is somewhat well, but I think mouse also lost to mouse lost to bet boom, and the one stable team that I had very hopes for was the heroic team. They had they have had Falcon with them. So in this scenario, Neither Navi is looking good, neither G2 is looking good, neither Falcons is looking good, neither FaZe is looking good, neither Vitality. They all have potential to become a major winner. They have all potential to keep on winning tournament after tournament consecutively. The raw power they have, the raw skill they have, the raw experience these teams have. But they can falter at any moment. So, in this scenario, a team like Heroic was, I think, with a young IGL, this G2 could become something else. But yeah, we can advise, we can tweet, we can talk about it. Let's see what happens with this G2. So, yeah, now moving on from our mandatories Counter Strike section, I would like to talk about the fourth game that I have reviewed on Twitter on my hashtag TPP game review series. In this series, I have been posting reviews about games of my life, the games that I've played since I was born, and I try to remember them and how I felt when I played them, and posting them as a gaming memoir on Twitter. And we have already talked about my first game. It was Mario, then Wild Gunman on an NES knockoff, Nintendo NES knockoff, and the third game I think third game I posted was Tetris. So the game of today was Tetris. I remember I played Tetris on a local made handheld console, which had only one game, Tetris, logged into it. It was, I think, in an 8-bit format, and it was a battery operated. It was a fun time pass game. We would use to challenge each others to beat their high scores. Very casual game. I remember my mother also used to play that, and it was fun. It was fun playing Tetris, and yeah, and I have reviewed it out of 10. If you want to know how much I gave it out of 10, you can go check it out on my Twitter at TPP Perspective. And if you have any memories of your and want to talk about anything about Tetris, comment down there below. And now, moving on from something new, a game that has been a sensation, had its fall off, and then rose again, and currently it's having a somewhat high play base. And kudos to the developers and the game company. They have been doing what they can by new content, by esports. Sometimes they falter and they show their true motives, that they are just a pay to win wannabe esports game, which in name of new content is slapping old content, old tournaments, old events in the game, just to get money, just to keep pushing something so that the player base don't get bored. And doing that, they think that they can fool players, but they slip. They let slip their mistakes. I'm talking about Clash of Clans. The developer in question here is Supercell. Recently, they launched an event which was not new, a 7 days or 9 days streak event, in which every 24 hours you would be given a mission, and if you complete the mission, then they would add a few percentage of loot, which is nothing. compared to what you can buy with real money. They would add it every match you won in the multiplayer servers. And yeah, and it was a 9 day event for sure. But a glitch happened, a bug happened, in which, in this repeated event, some players' account didn't register the completion of the mission that they were supposed to do, or what they did. And this bug was for a few hours. The fun fact is that last time they had the similar event and they had the same bug last time. Multi-million dollar game dev company who is minting money from pay to win, from selling cosmetics, from selling merchandise. They are not doing anything new. They are adding on filler content from past. And in the past they had a bug. They solved it back then. And when they have uh, introduced the same event, they have got the same bug. Now, how could you be so ignorant? It was a very small thing. They later solved the bug. They extended the date because many people, including me, feel these tricks because they're strategic, non-complex games, non-complex game could register that, and they gave reward of one gem boost and multiplayer reward 4 times. But yeah, they compensated players, they compensated everyone for a few people, a fraction of them facing some problems. But this behavior, or this uh, what to say, this ignorance in game dev companies behind a successful game is very appalling to me, because when I'm talking about this, the one thing that comes to my mind is a recent event that mm, I observed happened in another game, and another very famous game, a very esports friendly game, a game that I always wanted to play on PC, from a company which is very big in game development. They are very rich and they are very notorious for their behavior, for their pricing, for their everything a fishy, a gaming company, a gaming distributor could be. They have been. We are talking about Apex Legends by our favorite Electronic Arts. Those who don't know, I would like to share what happened. Some pros or some famous Apex streamers were playing Apex Legends, and as if you have played, if you have not played, if you have anywhere uh, in the gaming community or in the Twitch community, you know, you have heard somewhere that cheater problem in Apex is very bad, to the extent there were few cheaters who with cheats were not able to defeat these pros or streamers. What they did was they hacked into the server, they hacked these players' accounts, the streamers' accounts, the pro players' accounts, and they gave them abilities the cheat that the cheat provides, which led them to cause a rampage in the server. And eventually, these people got banned. You're good at a game, you love the game, you play the game, you make content of the game, you entertain people with the game, which brings people in the game, which eventually makes EA a lot of money. There have been hacker problem. People are leaving your game, they're stopping playing your game, and there's so uh, weak of the anti-cheat that you are not only able to cheat in the game, you are able to give cheat powers to other players and get their ID back. What the fuck, EA? What are you doing? I was so shocked to see that. Moving on from stupidity in gaming to stupidity in entertainment industry. If you have watched, if you love comics, if you love uh, Marvel movies, DC movies, then you might have known the MCU alternative of DC Comics, the DCU, DC Extended Universe, and Flash. If you read DC Comics, you know Justice League, you know Flash, Barry Allen is an important part of that, the most famous speedster. I mean, comparing Marvel and DC, I think the most famous speedster of this generation is the Flash. If not Barry Allen, the other version of Flash, but still it's Flash. Due to Ezra Miller controversies, due to bad writing, due to inner conflict between DC producers and Jack Snyder or Joss Whedon or what crap happened for of Justice League, Flash movie bombed. I haven't watched Flash movie. I know what the story was, what the context was. Michael Keaton came back as Batman. It was some alternate universe. It was a derived story based on the Flashpoint story of the comics. The movie bombed. The movie flopped. The director of the movie has recently said that the movie flopped because Flash isn't a good superhero. The movie flopped because people don't like Flash. How could he say that if he has a sane mind? And he knows the TV series Flash, which was such a huge hit. The initial seasons of Flash TV series were banger. In the movie, they had a cameo by Grant Gustin Flash. So he knows about it. And that collab happened because Flash TV series has been running for so much years. And it was broadcasted, it was produced for so much seasons because it was a good hit TV show. It didn't show Batman. It didn't show Superman. It didn't show Wonder Woman. The three bigger names than Flash in Justice League. It didn't show Green Lantern nor Martian Manhunter. But still, it was a hit show. Flash is a lovable character. Flash has been mentioned in many other movies. He's a popular culture. How could you say that? I was I was I was about to I was shocked about listening that. Moving on from controversies, the next big thing is the reveal of Switch 2. Yeah, the famous, one of the most selling consoles by Nintendo, Switch, is getting its successor, which has been rumored many times, leaked many times on Twitter, and as now we have seen the recent uh, sneak peek by Nintendo. some of them might have been true. Nintendo Switch 2 has been r- shown in a video, and it's supposed to be launched on 2nd of the April of 2025, and it's a bigger news, and somewhat have has covered up the hype of 5090, 5070, and 5080 GPUs by uh, Nvidia and new AMD GPUs. So let's talk about it. I have seen the video. It looks good. It's bigger. They say it's better. They have made design changes, and there are few specifications that no one knows of. They are rumored, like it might have an OLED screen, and it uh, it might have a better processor. That's all speculations. But one thing that that was clear from the the teaser trailer that Nintendo launched, that this Switch 2 will be changing its controller, uh, which used to slide down the screen body, the main body of the controller, the main body of the console had its controllers slide from up to down and attached to the main screen body, to now a magnetic pin locking system, which was shown and has been confirmed by Nintendo. And one thing from the trailer, which is uh, being being speculated, that the controllers might also work as mouse, because it in somewhere in in the video it was shown with wires, the the both side left and right side controllers being dragged on a table with wires. So as I'll see that these are speculations, and we should we should talk about speculations, because Switch 2 was a speculation or rumor. It being bigger than the old one was a rumor, and it having magnetic lock system for its controller rather than the slide one was a rumor. And all of these now are true. So yeah, I'm very excited. Let's see what the April 2 launch says with that about Nintendo 2. So yeah, this have been all for this episode. Check out my Twitter at TPP Perspective for every Saturday game reviews, and uh, there you can find my link tree and links to everywhere that I upload this podcast every Sunday at Spotify, at Apple Podcast, at Amazon, at Spreaker, at YouTube, YouTube Music, um, Good Pods, and many more. Go check it out. And if you have anything to ask about, personal or non-personal, there are some hashtags that I can suggest. Use hashtag Q&A if you want to ask any personal questions about me. Tweet at me using the hashtag Q&A, and I might select one or two and feature them in the podcast in the next Sunday podcast. Also, if anything non-personal, if anything you want my opinion on, if anything you want me to talk about, you can use hashtag TPP Perspective. And this one is not limited by any number. As many of as interests me, I will opinionate or I will answer. So yeah, follow me at TPP Perspective, and peace.